I bring greetings from Kol Nidre Under the Stars, which is located in the LeBeau Outdoor Chapel. And it's this beautiful gathering of different members of our... I'm going to turn this one off. Yeah. All right, let's try that. All right. Someone gave me I got a little applause. I can go home and tell my wife that I'm getting an applause for the sermon before I even gave it. Speaking of home, I want to tell you about my childhood home. At my childhood home, there was a large carpeted area by the stairs to a rarely used third floor. Far removed from the daily home traffic, that landing became my sister and my play area. Without fear of being in the way of adults, my Star Wars action figures and my sister's Barbie dream house dominated that carpeted terrain. The only problem was that there wasn't quite enough room for my sister and I to play at the same time. So when my sister's flash dance inspired dance party featuring Barbie and Ken interrupted Luke Skywalker's secret raid on the Death Star to avoid World War III, my sister and I went to seek Yoda-like counsel from my mother. Barbie and Luke Skywalker can team up, she offered, attempting to preserve third floor play area peace. It wasn't really a suggestion. If I wanted to save the universe from Darth Vader, I needed to make room for Barbie. Resigned to the new reality, I popped off the plastic top off the Millennium Falcon, tossed Chewbacca aside, and stuffed Barbie aboard. But I couldn't get Barbie's long, thin legs to contort enough to get her fully inside. I had to face a hard truth. The Millennium Falcon couldn't make its jump to hyperspace with Barbie's large top, thin neck, and flowing golden locks hanging out of the ship. Why can't Barbie be more like Chewbacca? I grumbled. Why couldn't Barbie be more like Chewbacca? Only an 8-year-old boy could think like that. My antipathy towards Barbie's perfection grew by the moment until no longer able to take it, I conceded the third floor to my sister and walked a block over to my friend's house. He got a Commodore 64 for Christmas that year, and there wasn't a whiff of Barbie in the playroom that he shared with his brother. After my sister and I grew out of our third floor play area space, I never thought much about Barbie until I saw the movie a few weeks ago. And in the movie, I learned that Barbie is actually a lot like Chewbacca. Clearly flawed and totally lovable. In a sense, we're all like that. And if we can get to that place spiritually, that's where we can begin to find true blessing in life. And that's what this sermon is all about. Remember at the beginning of the movie, everything is seemingly perfect for Barbie. Dua Lipa sings her heart out to a fully choreographed dance number, while all the numerous Barbies and Kens proclaim that today is the best day ever, and so is yesterday, and so is tomorrow. Out of nowhere, Barbie blurts out, "You guys ever think about dying?" From the moment of that awakening, all the gloss of Barbie's world loses its luster. Barbie's feet flatten. She even discovers cellulite. Shaken to the core, Barbie seeks wise counsel, where she is presented with a sparkling high-heel shoe and a plain Birkenstock sandal. You can choose, she's told. It's a choice between perfect naivete or seeking truth with all its complexity and problems. Reluctantly, Barbie chooses to go on a journey to pursue truth. Barbie's awakening and subsequent journey mirrors what the writer Joseph Campbell calls the monomyth of the hero. According to Campbell, a sheltered hero, shielded from the rough realities of life, gains a glimpse of the real world beyond their existence. Barbie's discovery of her cellulite and flat feet is the same type of realization that Abraham, when he realized the fallacy of paganism. It's the same type of awakening experienced by Moses when he saw the abuse the Israelites suffered at the hands of the Egyptians. And like Abraham, who was told, Lech Lecha, go to the promised land, or Moses, who took flight from Pharaoh's palace where he was raised, Barbie also goes on a journey. With her car stereo blaring the Indigo Girls, Barbie sets out from Barbie world. According to Campbell's explanation of the monomyth, on this journey, the hero experiences a wound and the real problem is finally revealed. This is true for Barbie. Before setting out on her journey, Barbie thought her existence had shaped the real world as a place where women and girls could do anything and be anyone. Barbie believed that when children in the real world began to play with her, it inspired worldwide happiness and full gender equality. But much to her shock, the real world is much rougher than she anticipated. And she realizes that she is, in fact, despite in addition to all the good, she is also the source of unrealistic physical ideals, sexualized capitalism, and rampant consumerism. This is what Joseph Campbell would identify as her real problem. And it's a lot for Barbie to swallow. The film resonates with audiences because Barbie needs to come to terms with the realities of brokenness and limitations. And that's true for us as well. America Ferrera's character, who plays a Mattel employee and a mother, helps Barbie and reminds us all of the reality of life. There are unsolvable contradictions and difficulties in our lives. And often, living successfully is not about overcoming and achieving as much as it is about accepting and enduring. There will always be cellulite on our thighs, or for men, increasingly large bald spots on our heads. More important than the physical, spiritually, we will all feel pain from the countless times we trip up while trying to climb up the ladder of life. Along the meandering path of our time on earth is a trail of failures, pain, and misjudgments. That's what it means to be human. In a sense, we are all like the perennial afterthought of Barbie world, Ken. In the movie, Ken only finds contentment when he realizes that despite his limitations, he is enough. He can be both Ken, riddled with limitations, and enough at the same time. He can be Knuff. The same is true for us. We can never be happy until we know that we are Knuff. Learning we are Knuff. It's an important lesson, one that Franciscan priest and acclaimed author Richard Rohr would call the first half of our lives. According to Rohr in his book, Falling Upward, in the first half of our lives, we are dedicated to achieving, overcoming, and ascending. And of course, we fall. When we achieve acceptance of our limitations and failures, when we realize we are Knuff, then we are able to move ahead to the second half of life. And it's here, in the second half of life, not despite our wounds, but because of them, we are ironically able to achieve new heights of fulfillment. That is the essence of falling upward. By failing, by having wounds and pain, we are lifted to a new height of spiritual maturity where we can find true contentment. Towards the end of his book, Rohr sums it up. What looks like falling can largely be experienced as falling upward and onward into a broader and deeper world where the soul has found its fullness. It's not a loss, but somehow a gain. Not losing, but actually winning. The journey from the false confidence of Barbie world perfection to the realization that despite our imperfections, we are Knuff, to allowing our failures and limitations propel us into the second half of life where we fall upward. This is the spiritual trajectory of Yom Kippur. With the sugary sweet taste of apples and honeys still on our lips, we set out on the journey of the monomyth of the hero. Like Barbie, the harsh and direct Yom Kippur prayers force us to face the reality of our shortcomings, failures, and limitations. While dark and absent of the celebration usually found in Jewish prayers, the liturgy doesn't give up on us. Bearing the imperfections of our souls, we ask, or almost demand, to be written in the metaphorical book of life, the Sefer Chaim. At that moment, we're all like Ken, proclaiming we are Knuff. We are Knuff to merit inscription in the book of life. And as the day begins to fade, the mood of the day seems to shift, becoming a little lighter, a little less overwhelming. Instead of allowing our imperfections and failures to bring us down, we find contentment in our imperfections, falling upward into the coming year. And if we successfully navigate the spiritual journey of Yom Kippur, the coming days, months, and years become our second half of life, characterized by what Rohr proclaims is a sober happiness. For in the second half of life, we feel a much deeper lightness or okayness. This is why, according to our tradition, at the time of the Second Temple, at seemingly the most unlikely of times, on Yom Kippur afternoon, a communal dance took place in the fields of Jerusalem, with the women dancing in flowing white dresses as the sun descended in the distance. At this dance, people met, couples formed, and marriages were made. Because only on Yom Kippur, after the journey of the monomyth of the hero, where we strip off the shiny veneers of our lives, followed by the acceptance of self, are two individuals ready to fall upward through life together. Falling upward in life. For Greta Gerwig, the Christian filmmaker behind the Barbie movie, that began, ironically enough, at Shabbat dinner. In a New York Times Magazine interview, Gerwig revealed that her family's closest friends were observant Jews, and she was a regular at the family's weekly Shabbat dinner. At those dinners, Gerwig distinctly remembers Birkat Kohanim, the blessing offered to children, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, and how the parents would also offer her a blessing together with their own children. I remember feeling the sense of whatever your wins and losses were for the week, whatever you did or didn't do, when you come to this table, your value has nothing to do with that. You are a child of God. I put my hand over you and I bless you as a child of God at this table. And that's your value. When going to the Barbie movie, Gerwig continued, I want people to feel like I did at Shabbat dinner. I want them to get blessed. Today on Yom Kippur, with our mouths filled with words of regret as our hands beat against our chests, may our confrontation with our own imperfections inspire us to take a spiritual journey beyond the false securities of Barbie land naivete. As we each face the many ways we have failed, may the missteps of our past and recognition of the limitations of life help us step towards the future. This year, may we move to a second half of life, knowing that no matter how far we have fallen or how high we can climb, we can all fall upward in life, comforted knowing that we are Kanaf. Gamar Chatima Tova.